Hello students, now we will start with the next unit, that is the material management. So we will discuss here the what is the importance of the material management and what are the different steps which are involved in the material management. In that different steps how we can do these things. What is the objective of the material management? And then we will going towards the different steps in detail how this material management is important and all these things. So this material management is a process of planning, organizing, directing and controlling the flow of a material within an organization. So this is the main purpose of this material management. In manufacturing fields, managers perform the vital role in purchasing, obtaining and maintaining the raw material to use in a production process. So these things which we are doing under this material management. Core idea behind this process is to control the movement of materials and equipments by requesting them in advance, purchasing or renting them at the reasonable price, and making sure they are available with, when needed. So these all these things which we have to do in the under the material management. We can say like this also material management is a key part of a supply chain process and ensure that professionals efficiently and accurately direct the material required for the manufacturing process. So for that purpose, whatever the things which is required, planning and other things, we have to do under this material management system. So if I want to define this material management is the integrated functioning of various sections of an organization dealing with the supply of material and aligned activities in order to achieve the maximum coordination. So it is involved in this material management. Different other departments are also involved. We have to do these things in a proper management in organizations, so that this we can supply the materials uh, whenever it is required and for the different allied activities. Now the introduction or the definition and scope of the material management. Here in a technical words, the material management definition will be like this. Function responsible for function responsible for the coordination of planning, sourcing, purchasing, moving, storing, and controlling a material in an optimum manner so as to provide a pre-decided services to the customers at a minimum cost is called as material management. So what is this we have to do? The material managers have to do the planning of the material, sourcing of the material, purchasing of the material, moving of the material from the one place to the this processing place, then storing of the material and controlling of the material. And in that, not only we have to do this in optimum manner, optimum manner, so that the customer can get this in the minimum cost. Scope of the material management, we are having the different scope of the material management. Here we are having material planning and control is one of the scope of the material management. Then purchasing the other scope of the material management. Storage of the material is also important. Once we purchased, I have to store in a proper manner so that we can quickly get this material and at required place. And we can also get the idea that how easily we can move towards the processing things. Inventory management is one of the things how we can inventory manage. We can in further we will discuss in detail how we can inventory management we can do, and other related functions like the standardizations, because there are the n number of materials are required, so there we require the standardizations that we can easily get these materials and we can help in the production. Then simplifications, specifications, value analysis, ergonomies, just in time, like that these other related functions are there. So these are the scopes of the material management or the functions of the material management. The functions of the material management is that what we discussed in the previous chart also similar fashion. From the definition, it is very much clear that there are the different functions of the material management. In that material management, we are having the material planning and control is the one of the most important function of the material management. Purchasing the another important function of the material management. Then store management. Whatever the purchased material, we have to keep in a store in the one place where how we are kept this and how easily we can getting this is the one of the things which we are having. The store management is also the one of the part. Inventory control and management. Inventory control is a very important function of the material management. We will in detail we will discuss what is this, and inventory management is also how important that inventory management. What exactly this inventory? Inventory means what material we are stored, or what material which we are having under the process, or what is the finished product is also the one part of the inventory. How we can manage these things, because this is what the ideal material which we are having. We cannot processing where, or we are investing on that. How minimum we can do these things so that we can less uh, investment is done in the inventory. Standardization is also important here. So many components like the we are having the standardization in the nut also, bolts also, shafts also, bearings, other things. So these are the useful things which we are having so that we can do the things in a better manner. Then we have to moving towards the value analysis, and lastly the ergonomics. So these are the functions of the material management. One by one, if I in the, briefly discuss these particular things. Material planning and control. Based on the sales forecast, production plans, and material planning and control is done. What my sales forecast is this? According to that, production plan will be done. According to that, we have to do the material planning and we have to control that. This involves the estimating the individual requirement of the parts, preparing the material budget, forecasting the levels of the inventories, scheduling the order, and monitoring the performance in relation to the production and sales. So these are the interlinking. This forecasting, the sales, production, and material. These are interlinked with each other. So according to that, we have to plan these things and we have to control these things. Next step is what? Purchasing. This includes the selection of the source of the supply. So from where we have to purchase the material, that we have to identify that, and finalization in terms of the purchase, placement of the purchase order, follow up, maintenance of the smooth relations with the supplier, uh, approval of the payments to the supplier, evaluating and rating the supplier. All these things will be under coming under this purchasing function. This is also the important things is there. Purchasing to develop the vendors and other things. All these things are very much important, and rating to them, and we have to see that this what quality of the materials they are giving, what is the this time span, other things. We are also important things under this purchasing. Then the next function is store management. It is another function of the material management. This involves the physical control of the material. Then preservations of the stores, how we are preserve this particular material in the stores. Minimization of the obsolescence and the damage. This we have to avoid the damage and obsolescence also. Some how we are organized some so that we can easily get that, and when we are placing the new order, that time we must know the how many material is available previously. So that is also the things which we are having. Then efficient handling we can do is also the one of the task. Maintenance of the stores records is also the one of the case which we are having. Proper location on and stocking is also there. So these are the things which we are doing in the store management. It is also the equally important function in the material management. Store is also responsible for the physical verification of stocks and reconciling them in with the book figures. Means whatever the record which you are having, frequently we have to check that this much material is available, so that we can whenever it is required, we don't have this. There is some mismatch between this and all these things. So this stores plays the vital roles in operation of the company. It is very much important for us. Next is what? Inventory control or management. Inventory management or inventory control. Inventory generally refers to a material in stocks. It also called as ideal resource of enterprise. So these are the things. Inventory means what? This is the material in stock or the ideal resources. Inventory represent those items which are either in the stocks for sale, or they are in the process of manufacturing, or they are in the form of the material which are yet to be utilized. All this will be counted as an inventory. So we have to work on that, how to control this inventory or how to manage the inventory. The interval between receiving the purchased parts and transforming them into the final products varies from the industry to industry depending upon the cycle time of the manufacturer. So this is a very important things which we are in depending upon our cycle time, all these things, how we can control the inventory, we have to plan this accordingly. It is therefore necessary to hold the inventory of various kinds to act as a buffer between the supply and demand for efficient operation of the cycle. So we have to work on this cycle time, all these things, requirement, other things, what will the buffer stock we have to put, all these things we have to think, and according to that inventory control or management we have to do. Next thing is what? Next step is standardization in material management. Our next function is standardization in material management. Standardization means what? Producing the maximum variety of the product from the minimum variety of the material. I given the example of the bolt, nuts, then bearings or the shafts. We are having the standard side M24, M26. That what we are doing, what why we are doing the standardization. So this from this particular case, we can what the main importance is of the main aim of the standardization. What uh, the maximum variety of the product from the minimum variety of the material. That is the main aim of this standardizations. So it is the process of establishing standardizations or units of measures by which extent, quality, quantity, value, performance, and may be compared and measured. So these are the things which where standardization is very much important for the function of the material management. Simplification is the one of the important function. The concept of simplification is closely related to the standardizations. Simplification is a process of reducing the variety of a product manufactured. Simplification is concerned with the reduction of the product range, uh, assemblies, and parts, materials, and design. Those simplification is one of the another functions which we are having here. Now, next function is the value analysis. Value analysis is concerned with the cost added due to the inefficient or unnecessary specifications and features. Okay, what we are saying, value analysis is concerned with the cost added due to inefficient or unnecessary specifications and features. It makes its contributions in the last stage of the product cycle, namely the maturity stage. So this value analysis in detail, we will see that this different techniques in that, and how we can use this value analysis, and we can control the inventory, and we can also have the with proper planning, that we will see that. Ergonomics which is related to the human engineering. So ergonomics design we already discussed here. This design of the human task, man machine systems, and effective accomplishment of the job including the display for the presenting the information to the human sensors, controls for the human operations, and complex man machine system. In a simple word, what the ergonomics means, what how easily we can use this particular machine, how easily we can use this machine, or how efficiently we can use this particular machines. According to that, we have to choose this material. This is the related with the human engineering. This is the one of the function which is also important, which we are to deal. Now we will moving towards the objective of the material management. So what are the different objectives of the material management, which we'll see here? To ensure the continuous uninterrupted production or operation or a project work by maintaining a steady flow of the material, means continuous flow, uninterrupted flow we have to put there. This is the main objective of the material management. Next objective is like this: to effect economics in the cost of a material by purchasing a material of the right quality in the right quantity in a at the right time from the right source at a right price. This is the main objective of the material management. Means We can have this right word many times, but whatever the analysis we are done, according to that, we have to do these things. This is the main objective to minimize the cost incurred on a material after they have been purchased. After once we are purchased, we have to minimize the cost which is we have to incur in storing and moving and other things. This is the one another things is there, that is storing and processing. Still the finished the product is there. This is the one of the objective which we have to do. Then next objective is what? Reduce the working capital requirements through a proper and scientific inventory control. Hmm? Reduce the working capital. Whatever the working capital required, how we can reduce the working capital? We are by controlling the inventory. That we have to do. This is the one of the objective which we are having for material management. Then next is what? Improve the quality of a manufactured good by using the better raw material. So what we are having better raw material we have to select, and then we can improve the quality of the manufacturing product. Then next is what? To increase the competitiveness of a manufacturing goods by making it possible to reduce the price. To reduce the price, what we have to do? Whatever the raw material we are getting, which must be a good quality and in the lesser rate, then we can also compete with the other competitor by putting our price at a lower rate, but quality on the higher rate. To save the foreign exchange through import substitutions and economizing on foreign purchase means we are avoiding the foreign purchase, so automatically what foreign exchange will be reduced, that automatically, or whatever the substitute material we can get or substitute supplier we have to find out, and from there we have to normally purchase. So these are some of the objective which we are having. So last objective is like that, the conserve material resources within enterprises, thereby contribute to the conservation of the national resources. One of the main important things in line with the environmental concerns which we have to do these things also. Now we will move towards the next part, that is material requirement and planning. Material requirement and planning in line with the material management. Material planning is a scientific techniques of determining in advance the requirement of the raw materials, and whatever the raw materials requirements are there, according to that we have to plan this particular requirement. It is a subsystem in overall planning activity. It is a subsystem in a material management. Material requirement planning is in the subsystem which is very much important. There are many factors which influence the activities of the material planning. Hmm. These factors can be classified as a macro and micro. Macro factors like this, some of the micro factors which affect the material planning are the price trends. Some of the macro factors which affect the material plannings are the price trends, business cycles, government import policy. These are the macro factors which are, and micro factors. Some of the micro factors that affect the material plannings are plant capacity utilization, rejection rate, lead times, inventory levels, working capital, delegations of the powers of the communication. These are the some things which we are having. Purpose of the material requirement planning is determine the components needed, the quantity and due date, so that they can master production schedules are made in time. So these are the some things which we have to work in uh, for that, so that we can have the proper material requirement plan. And then we are moving towards the techniques of the material planning. So we are having the different techniques of the material planning which we are having. Forecasting techniques. So this is the one of the techniques which we are having, and for costing techniques we are having the weighted average, exponential smoothing, trade analysis, and correlations. These are the steps which is involved in this. This forecast techniques will be moved towards the sales forecast also. So one side to forecasting, then we have to go for the sales forecast. Then in this sales forecast, what the product requirement, product mix, or product structures will be the parts of this sales forecasting. Then once we are sales forecasting this, then we are moving towards the manufacturing. That bill of material we have to prepare, exploration chart we have to prepare, material requirement of the material we have to do, and delivery schedule of for the material that we have to plan accordingly. These are the some of the techniques of the material requirement planning. In a detail, we will discuss in the some of the in next lectures. So here we only discuss about what are the techniques which we are having. The basics for the material planning is forecast demand for the end product. Forecast techniques such as the weighted average method, explanation smoothing, and the time series model are used for the forecasting. Once the demand forecast is made, it is possible to go through the exercise of the material planning, and we can, according to that, we can use these things. Bill of material is the document which shows list of the material required, unit consumption, and location code for the given product. So this is the one things which we can get for this from this techniques. Explosive chart is a series of the bill of material grouped in a matrix from so that combined requirement for the different components can be done. So this explosive chart is also the important. Thus, material requirement plan will be lead to be a development of a delivery schedule. Delivery schedule is also important how we can think for the material which is we are purchasing. So these are the things which we are having here in this material requirement planning. In detail, we will discuss in the next lecture. Today we will stop here. Thank you. Thank you very much.